Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, our group will discuss the life and works of Thomas Hobbes, a 17th century political thinker. In this report, you will learn how he lived, what influenced him, and what led him to write things which will ultimately influence our way of thinking. So come on, let us embark on a journey filled with wonder and excitement. A journey into the life of Thomas Hobbes. Come on. Let me show around his life. Let me give you a brief background into the life of Thomas Hobbes. He was born on April 5, 1588 on either Malmesbury or Wiltshire, England. He died on December 4, 1679 at the age of 91 at Derbyshire, England. He was from the era of the 17th century philosophers, or what you call modern philosophy. His schools of thought were social contract, classical realism, empiricism, materialism, and utilitarianism. His main interests were political philosophy, history, ethics, and geometry. He is the modern founder of the social contract tradition, wherein he says that life in the state of nature, this is his own words, life in the state of nature is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. So essentially that was his most notable idea. And it is weird because it influenced more than a generation of thinkers. It influenced the whole subsequent Western political philosophers. So that's how large his grasp of our world is. Pardon the looking down because I am reading this as I speak. Unfortunately, little is known about Thomas Hobbes' early childhood. No written records sadly exist. For that matter, other records as well. Even his mother's name was unknown. His father's name was very known because it was a derivative. His father's name is Thomas Hobbes Sr. At a very young age, his father left him and his siblings to the care of his uncle Francis. He studied under these schools: Westport Church, Malmesbury School, a private school run by Robert Latimer, an Oxfordian, and finally Magdalen Hall, run by a Puritan, John Wilkinson, who influenced Hobbes to some degree. It is said that Hobbes acted upon his own personal curriculum and did not follow the strict guidelines of his university. In a way, it seems okay because look where that brought him. He's now regarded as one of the greatest political thinkers ever to live. Even though Hobbes did not achieve his BA immediately, he was recommended to the service of the Earl of Devonshire, and together they toured Europe in 1610. He was exposed to European scientific critical methods as opposed to the scholastic philosophy in Oxford. By 1637, he regarded himself, Thomas Hobbes, as a philosopher and a scholar. It was after school that Hobbes decided to pursue his thoughts and make treatises. In short, he proposed to unite the different phenomena of body, man, and the state. Alas, he returned home in 1637 to a home on the brink of civil war. The civil war impeded the orderly execution of his philosophical plans. He fled to Paris in 1640 when the course of the political winds changed. He established a good reputation in Paris as one of the best thinkers of his time, meeting greats such as Descartes, and he wrote several treatises on Paris. But all of that were nothing compared to his achievement that happened when royalists from England were exiled to Europe, and most of them went to Paris. Immediately, Hobbes' treatises gained widespread publication and attention. The company of the exiled royalists led Hobbes to rethink his ideas of politics. The state might be regarded as a great artificial man or monster, or Leviathan, composed of men with a life that might be traced from its generation under pressure of human needs to its dissolution through civil strife proceeding from human passions. He raised the question of subjects' rights to change allegiance when a former sovereign's power to protect was irrecoverably gone. He criticized religious doctrines on rationalistic grounds in the Commonwealth. Finally, in 1651, Leviathan was published. In the book Leviathan, Hobbes postulates what life may be like without governments, a condition which he calls the state of nature. In that state, each person would have a right or license to everything in the world. To escape this state of war, men in the state of nature accede to a social contract and establish a civil society. According to Hobbes, society is a relation between a sovereign authority to whom all individuals in that society give all their rights, or maybe not all their rights, give some rights for the sake of their own protection. Immediately after publication, Hobbes was derided or applauded, depending on which side the applause or derision was coming from. Needless to say, Hobbes became one of the greatest thinkers, not only in his time, but in all of history. After Leviathan, Hobbes became a great thinker and became renowned, and soon he wrote other books, but unfortunately, he was regarded as a heretic by those people opposed to him because of his revolutionary ideas. Yun lang, mag-stop. Because of that, he burned some of his works, and most of his other works were not published until after his death. Despite opposition to his works, foreigners came to regard Hobbes as a great philosopher, often visiting him when they went to England. In October 1679, Thomas Hobbes had a bladder infection, and after that he had paralysis, which ultimately led to his death on December 4, 1679. Such a great loss for thinkers everywhere. He said to have said the words, "A great leap in the dark," before he died. His final words, however alarming or creepy, still reflects on the man himself and the contributions he did for the betterment of our society today and for the generations to come. A great